Constitution reserve rights from unless they have explicit from unlawful arrest. So reservatory rights there immediately. Unlawful arrest. Habeas corpus shall not be suspended unless the case is a rebellion, so forth. Yada yada yada. So you reservate your rights right there, off the bat. This is the registration statement you're gonna make to secure your what? Your interest in the documentation within 30 days. The very first 30 days, you secure your rights and interests and make a registration statement immediately to secure your rights underneath the principle of the Constitution of the United States of America. Have your registration statement ready. 2. Amendment 13 for involuntary servitude. Again, involuntary servitude is another one that you would use when you're going to go to the court to fight the argument and punish them for crimes. Unless you got convicted, they cannot come and tell you what to do and how to participate in a fraudulent contract. Now, since you already perfect your security, guess what? Any claim the state is going to try to make on that document is going to be a junior claim, not a proper status. You're going to make a proper status claim over it because that status that they're going to have is going to be a junior status because you already perfected your security interest in the document and registered under the proper authority. One other thing, in order for them to make it legally enforceable, they have to make theirs so forth. So you're going to go ahead and you're going to achieve this prior to them. Now, after you achieve it prior to them, right, underneath the opposites that they don't violate you, Fourth Amendment, right? Even when they try to use manipulative word, I say probable cause does not supersede rights, all right? And the Fifth Amendment, that when they take anything from you, anything away from you, they must give you compensation, right? They take your car, they take your this, they take your that, they take your body, they have to compensate you in any form of way they have violated. If they try to use things to restrict your rights inside the court cases and all that stuff, guess what? The Sixth Amendment will hold them accountable when they try to file a documentation, they try to take it off the record. That's a violation and restriction of your rights and interests. You have to be able to put your documentation on record. And even when they try to put your documentation on record and try to hide it from the public, that's a violation in the principle of law. It's violating 18 U.S. Code 1512. They must be on the record. The Seventh Amendment, you have to do with a child. The Eighth Amendment, you can't use cruel and unlimited child. The Ninth Amendment, even though the rights is not expressed in the Constitution, you are securing it. You are securing it underneath perfection of security interest. You secure the interest in the instrument that they're trying to use to charge you with. You're gonna secure that interest inside of that instrument. So whenever they try to charge you, you can file a suit against them for violation of all of these rights here. The next is the 10th Amendment. It is not delegated to them by the Constitution for them to have no power over you. You are not from their nation. They came from overseas and they tried to use the territory. That's a violation by any form of principle of law. Come on, Torah, let's go. The next, after you do the UCC 1, 308, you have to ask yourself the question: did you authorize these people to be any former government over you or power of attorney over you? If you did not authorize such thing, you use UCC 3-402 because it's an unauthorized signature or unauthorized things. Ambiguous and unauthorized capacity. So in other words, you don't give them no right to sign off no document and to get no documents to the judge. If you put a signature on the documentation, is a problem for you, firm. Any one of them, even the clerk, if they go and endorse that shit, it's a violation. So when the girl give you this document to talk about an endorsement, you restrict their endorsement and the principle that they actually do. So that's why they cannot discharge it, but get charged for it. Anybody discharge a debt, they're going to be liable for it. He has to pay for it, and that's why they're discharging the debt. That's why they discharge it, not you. And once they discharge it, you can sue for any other claim that you want for it because they unlawfully used the documentation, because they went ahead and endorsed it and deposited it in their banking system, put it on the market to generate currency, and after they do such thing, they're in violation of any form of laws. The Federal Reserve Act 16. Let me see. Right, so they create a note. Right. The Federal Reserve note, the purpose of making advance in the reserve note, banks, yes, that's exactly what they're trying to do. So they create the note and then they try to use it to charge you. So what you have to do, you have to perfect your security in that note and then stop them from doing so. Put them on a junior claim. So you have a right and an interest that they must secure. Once you secure that interest, then they're in violation of trying to take it that. Or you can just make the instrument itself a dishonor. You make it a dishonor under the principle of the UCC again. Dash. Endorser or negotiable instrument, right? You make the endorsement obligation of an endorser. So since they endorse the document, you're gonna then make the endorser, the instrument is dishonor. Since you're gonna dishonor the instrument, you're gonna make the obligation of the endorser to pay the amount due on the instrument. So in other words, the police officer signed the instrument, so you have to make him pay that instrument himself, and then you'll file a suit on him for all the crimes that he commit against you by knocking you over the head, busting out the car door and the car window, and then they use all the laws on their asses and breast them down. Are you guys enjoying my life? God damn it, man. I guess I'm talking too fast. All right, so I'm going to bring some people up. If you guys want me to talk some more, you guys have to come in the live and participate. Please come up and ask question. Who is saying that they don't understand? Come on, make a request. There's a man there. Request up. I'll bring you up.
Hey, what's going on, brother?
What's good? Much love.
Hey, how's it going, y'all?
Much love.
Peace.
All right, so I just recently bought a car a few months ago, so I don't have no insurance on it. I ain't registered the plates. I don't want to do I don't want to do none of that.
Right, so you're going to take those tickets. You're going to file a UCC 1 on whatever state you are within there. You're going to put the codes that I just told you on that UCC 1.
1-306, right?
1-308.
308, sorry, yeah.
That's 308.
1-207.
1-207.
And then they put the rights and interest, make the debtor, your name.
Okay. So where do I sign this on the ticket at?
It's not the ticket. Don't sign the ticket.
Oh, no, I didn't sign the ticket. They just gave them to me.
Yeah, so don't, you ask me where you're signing the ticket at. Don't sign the ticket.
Okay, so
Doesn't he file that with the Secretary of State?
No. normally I don't give these information out too much on the line live because this information is where I use for my process to be able to get money. So you're gonna sign to file a UCC and make a claim, then they're gonna file it. You're gonna hurry up and get your documents them ready and do a notice of removal to the federal courts immediately. Since you just got the ticket, you're gonna file a notice. You gotta go to the federal courts immediately and write a notice of removal and a notice of removal and temporary restraining order.
Okay.
And then you're going to take those notice of removal and temporary restraining order and carry it down to this, what you just filed. Make sure they stamp it. So make sure you bring 2 copies to the court. And once they stamp your copy, take their copy, you take the copy and just file it in the lower courts.
Okay.
File it in the lower courts in which you got the case coming up. And you remove the case from that court and take it to the federal court, and then you're going to use the word federal question.
Okay.
You're going to use federal question to take yourself out of the jurisdiction of that case underneath the constitutional principle. So it's going to be 4th Amendment, 5th Amendment, Article 1, Section 8, Article 1, Section 9, if they arrest you. If they arrest you, they'll use Article 1, Section 9. Article 6 of the United States Constitution. Article 3 for using Article 3 court, since the state is a party. We can use the Supreme Court, but you don't use Article 3 yet because they might want to tell you to take it to the Supreme Court. But they want to go to the federal court because they want the federal government to penalize their ass for constitutional breach. You're going to look inside of the state that you're at and look for the state code.
I'm in New York. I'm in Brooklyn.
All right. So you look inside of the state code where you can find the penalty for breaching constitutional principles inside. They are there inside the state code and policy. So they have laws inside of their policy where they tell you that if they break a constitutional right, they would have to they will get penalized. They will get penalized. They have no qualified immunity for breaching constitution.
And let me ask you this question. I saw something not too long ago and read something where they were saying for each violation, each thing that they violate is a money amount towards them that they have to, like a fine that they have to pay or something like that.
You got to report it to their insurance policy. So you make sure you call the insurance policy and tell them that you are gonna file a suit against so and so forth, and they have violated so and so forth. They need to give you certain information so you can charge them for the violation that they done. Called risk management.
Okay.
Is that like a civil money penalty that he's talking about?
Yeah, civil liability.
Yeah, because these New York police officers, these Brooklyn police officers out here is reckless.
Oh man, it's all of them. It's not the stuff Bruce. It's all of them. It's every state you go to. They're all corporate government, and they're all corporate. So what you will do too, you will also use the public law. It's called public law. You got to understand the difference when you deal with federal and state. The federal government, you use the FOIA. The state, you use the public law. So guess the difference. The federal government, you use the FOIA. The state, you use the FOIL.
But and federal supersedes state, right?
Yeah.
Right.
So you see the difference? In New York City, in federal government, you use the FOIA. For your state, you use FOIL.
Oh, FOIA and FOIL.
FOIL.
Crazy. Didn't know that.
Wow.
You see, I'm a different type of brother, man. I don't lose cases, bro.
Yeah, I heard that, man.
You won't.
I never look. I'm born and raised in New York and never heard none of this what you just said. I'm 53 years old and never heard none of this shit.
Bro, I'm a different type of brother, man. I don't lose cases, bro. Yeah, and they may take a while to dismiss my case, but
Let me ask you this: What about criminal case?
It's the same thing.
Because I got a case right now that's open that they've been having this shit going for a whole year, wasting my time.
So what you do, you use the FOIL or the Sunshine Law, the FOIL and the Sunshine Law, and ask them for the EIN number because you're gonna charge them.
You said Sunshine.
Yeah, and now when if ask them for the EIN number, now you would get the EIN number from them because they have to give it to you. So once you get the EIN number, now you know they are originally a corporation. They can't deny it anymore.
You're saying EIN number, right?
Yes.
Oh, didn't know that. I don't know too much about like how it goes in like court and whatnot like that. I'm just now learning that, but I do have like my backing on like literacy on the laws and acts that apply.
So you don't go into court and talk nonsense though. Just make sure you know that. So the Sunshine Law is right there. Yeah? So Sunshine Law, right? Whenever they conduct any form of meeting, doesn't matter what it is, you want to get every single meeting number and all that stuff. You want to get all that information. This is New York City public information. You want to read all of that stuff, the definition for certain words. You see, they want to run a thing called, let me show you something, guys. They want to run a thing called administrative process.
That's right.
Administrative is a trust term. Administrative process is a trust term. It's when they're using trust tool. So they're using administrative law because they're running a trust principle on you. You never ask them to be in their trust. They ain't paying you no money and they ain't getting dividends from it. But they say you're getting dividends on the uses of the Social Security number. So because you use the Social Security number, you are then in fact using it. But the administrative process, right, which Congress grant, does not give them authority in any court at all. Just read the Administrative Procedures Act. Just read the document itself. It's simple. This is it. All you have to do is just read it. So when they try to invoke and say, oh yeah, this territory, we get it to have court. No. Person and party. Person includes individual partnerships, corporation, association, or public or private organization. Not people.
Yeah, that's what a person is.
And not people, organization, or any character other than agency. Party including any person or agency named and admitted as a party or part of the seeking and so they're entitled to attach the party in any agency procedures, but nothing in here shall be construed to prevent in any agency or from admitting any person or any agency to unlimited purposes. Rule and making rules and all that stuff. If you read it, this is it right here. Administrative Procedure Act, right? When you read it, you will see.
Didn't know there's an administrative act.
They can get sanctioned in all or in part. When they try to invoke these things on you, right? Just tell them that you read the Administrative Act. It does not give them no delegation of authority. So how do they get the authority to be an administrative law judge and have administrative process? It becomes a sham legal process. You got to learn those words. If you want to use those words effectively, it's called.
So I just got to go to the New York City administrative law.
You see, a sham legal process is a pleading when someone files a legal document that is not genuine, truthful. It often includes false claims or false statement that misled the court. Now, ask yourself the question. It's a fictitious action they brought to the court because when the United States came here, right, the first thing they did, they signed treaty with the people of the nation. Ain't no way you can sign treaty with the people on the territory and then you take their land and then charge them for the usage of the land that you signed a treaty to use. Ain't no way it's ever done like that. You sign a treaty to use the land, then you go ahead to share use of the land, then you go ahead and charge them to use the land freely. That's a violation of the principle of commerce clause.
Yeah, because nobody can own land. Land is natural.
No, it's not that nobody can own the land. the people that originally here, which is the copper color people,
Yes,
right, originally here, have more land rights than them. So their derived power can't supersede the power from which it derives.
Definitely.
You sign treaty with me, an agreement with me, you are superseding my rights. It's a violation of any commerce clause.
Yeah, you speak and you know. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Facts. Facts.
So this is the reason why. I was teaching earlier, if you weren't here, to try to show you that they've been destroying us for many years from over it. That's why I come and show you Egypt. Egypt, in astrology, the civilization start in 8016 BC. But if you ask about settlement in America, if you look right there, astrology, 8000 BC, right? But why does settlement in America long before Egypt?
Yeah, well, you know, the original Egypt is in America anyway, so they played around with that, and they turned they made it the 18 and 17s and 16s when it really wasn't, because they changed the I's and the J's and the R's to the number 1 and made it that.
Right. Now watch this now. Romans battle with the Carthaginians Empire. After a third battle, they won the war in 1 BC. When they won the war in the area and in the territory, which is Tunis, right here, they label that territory Africa. That's what they call it. Africanos, which would interpret it to be white residents. That's what it's interpreted to be.
Yeah.
So now, if it turned to be white residents, see it said right here, Africa, white residents. So if it was white residents, right? How did then it become the entire map?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's the same thing with the United States. The United States came and have 13 colonies that agreed, but now it becomes the entire thing. It's the same principle they be using over there over here. It's called deceptive practice.
Yes, and not to mention that
Misleading.
Yeah, and not to mention that these places that they tell us is over in other places, they not even in other places, because they're literally right here in our face. All these places is in our face, but because of their manipulation and brainwashing for years, this is what our people need to wake up to and get back to business.
Everyone, now watch this. This is the final example I'm gonna show you. Then go back right into it. So don't get bored, people. I'm here with you still.
I never get bored with this type of shit.
No, hell no. Yeah.
Now watch this.
That's Dave's talking.
Now watch this. They just manipulate that. So now watch this with the Constitution. How many times you hear the word probable cause, and probable cause this, that, at the top, we have probable cause. Probable cause this, that, and the third, we have probable cause to take you over, we have probable cause to do that, and the third, right? They hear the word probable cause.
Enforcement.
Right.
BS.
Now, do you know the definition of probable cause?
We assume probable cause is an assumption.
Probable cause, yes, it's an assumption. So no assumption cannot assert right. There's no way an assumption can assert right. The definition of assumption does not have the definition of right. Rights are things that are determined and absolute. Probable cause is not absolute, and probable cause is not determined. And probable cause cannot be determined without a warrant, and it cannot be determined without an oath and affirmation. This is the part where you got to understand that when they say they have probable cause to do something, it's another deceptive practice, a usurpation of authority. If you don't understand that, you need to understand this, though. If it said right here, clearly as day, it said, the right of the people shall be secured in their persons, house, papers, effects, and against unreasonable search and seizure shall not be violated. Those are determined words and absolute.
Yep.
So since it's determined and absolute, then this cannot supersede it. And if you learn anything about languages, when you're talking about in sentence, you're talking about a sentence, they use comma right there, and then they put an after it. It separates everything from here, from to there. And then this would make it become the primary statement, and this would become the secondary statement. And the secondary statement cannot supersede the primary statement unless it gives explicit definition that it does.
Sure.
And they do a lot of wordplay, and
Which makes you now any claim to use probable cause to take away your right to search and seize is just a trespass and a breach of warranty. So if they touch you, it's an assault. Just touch is an assault. If they touch you, then and cuff you, then assault and battery.
Yep. And not to mention, a lot of people don't know, and they don't tell people about it, that in order for them to even physically talk or touch you or talk to you, they must have a warrant.
Right.
And the judge has to be right there to sign the warrant in front of them. That's how deep it is.
When you got detained, were you traveling in commerce or business?
The warrant can't be even issued unless you're convicted underneath the 13th Amendment.
Yeah.
Now watch this. Since they are foreign nationals and we are foreign from them, if they try to influence any of their governmental policy on us, it's considered to be international terrorism. If they are domestic, it's considered to be domestic terrorism.
Yep.
If they take you away,
where'd you see that?
Analyze you on the street side, it's called assassination. And if they destroy, and if they take you away, it's called kidnapping.
Kidnapping, yeah. Yep. Anytime they take you and put you in a police car, it's kidnapping.
So you'd use this code right in there and label them domestic terrorism. Because you see, you got to understand, whoever have a right, have a remedy. So you must secure your security interest in yourself.
Yes.
And declare it and register it.
Now, how do you go about registering? Like somebody was saying that you should go copyright your name. Something like that.
You can. But what I'm telling you right now is even more effective. You guys need to learn, because we need to start taking this bunch of corporations that have been terrorizing us for years out of our life.
Yeah, definitely.
They've been taking our daughters, taking our sons, raping our kids, and unaliving our kids.
And we, the people, have the power.
Right, and we have the power. We're not doing anything about it. Let's think about this for a second. They're taking that little asset just to make some money. They've been doing it for years, right? They're not telling us what they're doing, but they're doing it for years. We know what they're doing now. I mean, at least I know what they're doing now, right? And I can show you step by step like I'm showing you. How many people do you see teach you like this? Do you hear me tell you about no tax document that you need to file?
Nope.
Do you hear me tell you about no public law 192?
192,
Right. So people are teaching you guys to use this right here. But I want you to read it with me because I don't want to feel stupid, because I want you to read it with me a little bit, because the people are using this right here. Joint resolution. Public law 192.
Resolution. Yep.
Yeah. Now, that's not the document. I want to get the document itself. Let's see if this is the document.
House Resolution 192. That vaguely sounds familiar.
Right. Now, I want to show you a key thing that they are missing. They are missing this. They want to use it, but they're missing the understanding of what it is. So I would suggest, right? Yeah, man. Oh, they appeal it anyways. They appeal it anyways, but I'm going to show you for a second right here. I want to see if it's this right here. Right here it is. Right? It's the gold clause, abrogating the gold clause. Right? They're reading section 7E. that's not it. That's 92. This is 92 tonight. I want 192. That's not in the form. So, but they change it to 7310. But then they also change it again to after they change it to 7310, they change it to 12 US code 95A. And then after they change it to that, they change it again to something else. But let me show you here first, because this is where it get dicey. It get dicey right here. This is the Trade with the Pet Enemy Act. And this is what a lot of people be reading to you and say, this, that, and the third, the government can't do that, blah, 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 and blah, 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 blah. This is what they're talking about right here. Any payment, conveyance, transfer, assignment, or developing properties, interests made an account of the made for the account of the United States. You see, they are missing this part right here. They are taking this part out and not realizing. They skip over this part so swiftly, but they're not realizing it said made for the account of the United States and not the people. You see, when they use this part, you got to be careful when you read it, and that's what I do. I read the entire thing to make sure what they're saying is correct. You see, the United States is not the people. It's the government that they're talking about.
The laws are made for them, not for us.
Right. So this is what they're talking about right here. They're talking about the actions of the government when they do any form of transfer, conveyance, or payment, or delivery of property or interest therein, made to or for the United States account, not the people account, or as otherwise directed. In other words, if they direct them to do so or do something, not the people, not the public. So when they said not the people, when I said people, not the people, it's not talking about private debts. Public and private is different. When they say public, they're talking about government. When they say private, they're talking about individual. And I'm going to show you that in a minute. So don't use these codes inside of your documents, because you are not the public.
Yeah, because somebody was telling me that a lot of the UCC laws is not what we're supposed to be using. They said we're supposed to.
Yeah, you're supposed to be using the UCC laws, but you got to use them properly, because that's not public laws. Those are private laws, private contracts, private sales.
Yes. And what about the USC laws? Those are the
USC.
ones. That's the ones.
They are both negative and positive laws.
Okay.
Now, if you look right here again, it's a pursuant to the action and the rules and regulation, instruction, direction. Now, they're telling you, say, the regulation that they give them, the rule that they give themselves, instruction that they give them, and the direction that they give, issued hereby shall be extended before the full acquittance and discharge. They are saying it's going to be full acquittance and discharge for all purposes of the obligation, the same United States account of the person making the same. In other words, the person who they directed, the person who actually doing things, the person who actually work in their accounts, doing all of those things, not the people, ladies and gentlemen. So don't use these Public Law 192, Public Law 7310, 12 U.S.C. 95A, or 50 U.S. Code. This is the next one. Let me show you.
Stay away from those codes.
Yes, because it's all talking about the United States debt, not yours. And especially this one, it's talking about the United States debt. Leave it alone. It has nothing to do with public. It has nothing to do with private individual, but the public. If you look at it, I'm going to show it to you so you can see it with your own eyes. That way you can make your own statement. It say right there again, the same word. That means I'm telling you, I'm studying, I'm looking, because I would not know where every single one of them are. If you notice, I find every single one of them and show it to you. Every single one of them, this is the last one. So even when they appeal it, I found it. I know where it's at. I look where it's at, and I figure out where it is. This one you don't ever use. If you look again, you see it said for the account of the United States. So it's talking about the public debt. Now, let's look at this one that they like to use as well. 31. 31 U.S. Code 321. Now, I want you to look at the word. When you look at this paper, the first thing you see is the only thing alone you need to know that it's not belonging to you, and then those two words. Why? Let's look for the definition here, ladies and gentlemen, and then you tell me if I'm wrong. Please, if I'm right, I want you to put a 4 in the chat once you see the definition. Let's go. We're going to look for the definition here. We're going to paste, and then we're going to define it. Now, make your own judgment between me and you, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to look at it together. Make your own judgment. Public debt refers to financial obligation occurred by what, ladies and gentlemen?
Government.
So it's not what you occur, but the government occur. So then ask yourself the question, this, what I said, this, and what I said, this, and the other one I said, what it said, the United States account, right? It said for the count or the purpose made to or for, right? And that's exactly what it's saying right here to, right? Government. Typically evidenced by securities paid certain sums of holders' futures. It is different from what, ladies and gentlemen?
Private debt.
Are we not private individual, ladies and
We
gentlemen?
are private. That's why.
So then why are we using these codes and think that it's going to have an effect on our life, ladies and gentlemen? Somebody came in our circle and given us this code to let us abandon the securities that you have for remedies. And that's why I'm teaching you to perfect the security interest in your asset, but do not take bullshit and run away with it.
Yeah, cause I've been getting into this stuff more recently because it's stuff that we need to know. We're supposed to know. We have to know. But because they don't teach us this and they didn't teach our predecessors this, a lot of us are stuck in this limbo, and we can get out of it. Definitely, I know that for a fact.
Now, the 12C U.S. Code, I'm going to teach you guys so you can have perfect knowledge. I want you to understand this. It is there in front of your eyes, so I want you to read it. So if I just show it considered of the government, and I wanted the one I want to show you, you asked me for 12 of U.S. Code, right? 411. I want you to understand the 12 U.S. Code 412 is ours. It's for everybody. But the 12 U.S. Code is 411. I want you to read it carefully with me. And I want you to make sure you don't pass this part. Don't pass that part.
It's very similar to the Federal Reserve Act.
Right? Right. So watch this now. Federal Reserve notes to be issued at discretion of the Board of Governance Federal Reserve System for the purpose of making advance to the Federal Reserve banks through the Federal Reserve agents, again through the Federal Reserve agents, as they are in after set forth, and for the purpose, for no other purpose, are authorized. The said note shall be obligation of who? The United States, and shall be the receivable for all national and members bank and Federal Reserve Bank, and for all taxes, customs, and other
public dues.
Now, when you say public dues, who do you think it's talking about?
Public
dues.
That's the mayors and the senators, and that's them type of people, right? Because they supposed to do what we tell them to do.
Then why don't we just go look what the definition is? To settle all the argument. Charged by who?
Fees charged by the governments in exchange.
So then why are we using it, ladies and gentlemen?
Yeah. Look, it even says membership fees.
You get me, Rich? Rich?
Yes,
Yeah.
You see how the board of them go around and come teach you nonsense, my general? You see what I say? They might teach you them thing, because they want to deceive you, but in general, I don't spot them out, man. Definition is the key of the game. It's the Congress intent, was to make sure the government being regulated, right, and make the understanding that the government have to pay its debt and its dues. Now, if you want to be a pansy or you want to be, for the people that want to know it better, it's called surety.
The surety bonds?
Nope. I'm talking about surety itself, the word. Surety is a person who take responsible for another performance and undertake, for example, to appear in court or pay their debts. So now you are taking the government responsibility and paying off those debts.
So the
They're
surety,
grabbing you to be a surety underneath the principle.
so
They're
me,
making you a surety to their debt.
so me going into court, I would be the surety to that.
To what? To what? To the instrument that they created.
Yeah.
Underneath what? Underneath what? The fictitious name that they gave you.
Yeah. Under the
The things
straw.
they created. The first thing you need to do was do what? If you were here, what I tell you you're supposed to do, the first thing you need to do is what?
Perfect your security interest.
And do what afterwards?
And then you gotta register it.
There you go.
And hold the file
We gotta register it.
at the federal courts.
We gotta register it.
The federal court, right? Oh,
The
approved.
appropriate statutory authority.
All right.
That means-
So you got appropriate statutory authority to register it. Who do UCCs? Remember I told you UCCs. Who do the UCCs?
The UCCs is the corporation.
Secretary of State.
There you go. Hey, who that read that?
I was gonna say that, man.
Who said that a while ago? Who said that a while ago? Who just said that? Who's the Secretary of State?
Me and my.
Give the man a round of applause, man, ladies and gentlemen. Come on, man. Give the man a
Let's go.
round of applause, man. Come on, man.
Yeah, I missed that earlier.
Let me play, man. Let me play him again. Give the man a round of applause, man. Yeah, man.
The Secretary of State, man. I knew that one. I really
you take
did.
that, you take that shit and you register your UCC one final statement, and then they'll put it up on the record, and then they file it, then they transfer the court from that area, and then you transfer it from that state, from the state court, and put it right in the federal courts, and then you sue them according to your registration statement. And if he hold it in his position, then he, the endorser, he have to pay the instrument immediately, because now you perfected your security interest. That's all you gotta do, guys.
So let me give you a quick story.
Now listen to me,
Let
General.
me give you a quick story.
Hold
So
on.
I had owed the IRS some money since 2016. Right. So this is what I did real quick. So I repaired my credit, you know what I'm saying, and set up my business. And went in debt for around, I don't know, $600,000. So I said, all right, that should be good to maintain. You know what I'm saying? That's a good start, right? So this, I wrote an ebook on how to build business credit. So I have a program. Well, you know what I'm saying? Just pretty much, you know what I'm saying? You get some net 30 companies after 3 months, you know what I'm saying? Get the paydex, you know what I'm saying? That I just went crazy. You know what I'm saying?
How do you owe them if you didn't get nothing from them?
What do you mean?
How do you wind up owing the IRS when they don't give you anything?
Oh, that's the big hit of the story. They gave me $800,000. You know what I'm saying? That's a whole other story.
So they did get. So the IRS gave you the money.
Yeah, no. What I'm saying. So that's into the story. I'm just getting started.
Okay.
All right. So after I got my everything that I needed for my business and for my household and stuff like that, around $600,000, I decided to set up a trust with my 2 kids' last name, made my first baby mother the trustee, put a lien on me. So what I did, I said, how much everybody bills all together? Everybody bills was like $6,000, you know what I'm saying? Everybody's car note, college payment, everything, right? So what I did, I had them put a lien on me for $6,000 a month for 30 years, $2.4 million. Alrighty, file the UCC with, you know what I'm saying, with the trust for me and the business. So I became a slave to them because I figured I need to be around to pay everybody bills for the next 30 years at least, you know what I'm saying? So then met a lady that did some tax work for me, got me like $600,000. Well, really, almost seven. I had to give her some out of it. You know what I'm saying? Give her percentage.
Yeah.
Couple months after that, they came back and said, "Hey, that was a mistake." You know what I'm saying? This owe us 6. You know what I'm saying? You owe us 800 now. So good thing for me, I had the lien in place already.
So they can't get nothing because you don't even own nothing.
Right.
Yes, and
So
they can't take nothing
so they had so they went to my account. So remember, I got an account. So I have my business account with Wells Fargo. I got my personal account. I got my kids' account. You know what I'm saying? When I pull it up, I see all the accounts. You know what I'm saying?
Worst bank in the world.
They were able to take money out of my personal account, which was, I think, $150. And then they took $700 from both kids' accounts.
What?
Filed a lien at the Secretary of State because they had to file a lien first before they could go get the accounts, right? But they didn't do their due diligence to see that I already had a superior lien in place. So what the IRS had to do was go back to the county register of deeds and retract the lien that they had filed because they didn't notify my bid mother that they were going to file a lien.
What?
Real shit. So the other part of this now, when you talk about perfection, when you talk about the perfection part, right?
Hold on.
So, go ahead.
Oh no, I was trying to hear you.
Oh, okay, yeah. So as far as on the other side now, so up to this day, you know what I mean, that trust account, so what she does, she pays everybody's bills out of that trust account. So we put all our money in the trust account, you know what I mean, and then everybody's bills get paid from there. So that $6,000 a month that's being paid into that trust account, basically the perfection, the lien, the security agreement, the financial statement, and then 3 months worth of payments. They giving her $2 billion worth of credit. That bitch is crazy.
So they gave her
This is what I'm saying. So she has a $2 million line of credit with the bank that we make the bills payment to. So this been going on since I did that lien probably 2015. I got it posted on my page. You know what I'm saying? What? So when I actually did the lien, I got it blocked out. But it's basically the trust, Delicate Enterprises. You know what I'm saying? My business name as the debtor and me as the debtor. And that kind of protected me. But it put her in the superior position. You see what I'm saying? Where she had access to the credit that the trust created.
That's mind blowing. That's
crazy. But you know what? I've heard not the way you just broke it down, but I've heard people doing with the trust and stuff like that to where when they try to come after something, hey, you can't touch it. I don't own nothing. It ain't mine.
Right. So keep in mind, this was freaking 10 years ago, pretty much. So, I've learned a lot of different stuff then, you know what I'm saying? And one of the things that, you got to remember that we're the government, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. They are a secular,
they're the renters.
Right, you know what I'm saying? So we're the real government. It's our, you know what I'm saying? Yep. So a couple years, one more thing, and then I'll let you go back. A couple years ago, right, I went call my mortgage company to pay my mortgage with my credit card. And they told me I couldn't pay a debt with a debt. So I was like, damn, I said, I can't pay a debt with my credit card. So I can't use these FRNs either because they debt instruments. So how do I really pay my mortgage? So when I hung up the phone from them, I called the Treasury. I said, well, I just got off the phone with my mortgage company, and they said I can't pay a debt with a debt. So I know I can't pay this mortgage either with these FRAs because they're debt instruments as well. The lady said to me, okay, well, now you make a good point, sir, and I can't really answer that question for you, but I can give you a friend of mine who she can answer the question for you better than I can. You know who the number the lady gave me? The comptroller of the public debt department.
Oh, the OCC, damn, okay.
Yes, bro.
But let me ask you this.
Let me tell you my life. You think, I'm just telling you, it's crazy.
But let me ask you this.
Give her a second.
So, when I called, she gave me her personal secretary's number. She gave me her other secretary's number, right? Whatever the lady name that was like, who were the head of the comptroller, the comptroller that was like maybe. And I called. I left a message. The secretary called me back. I explained to the secretary exactly what I said about me paying my debt. You know what I'm saying? I'm, just trying to figure this out because I want to, be in compliance with, I want to run up the national debt. I want to do what I'm supposed to be doing. You know what I'm saying? And if I can't do it this way, then explain to me the proper way for me to pay the debt. So she said, okay, she'll, relay my message to the lady. And, someone would call me back from the public debt department. So the next day, her personal secretary called me back.
No, sir.
Damn.
Right? And which was a black lady. And when I explained, my dilemma to her, she said, well, I'm not at liberty to go any further with this conversation. But I'll tell you this, Mr. Bay, you just secured my retirement.
Oh.
Oh, snap.
Oh.
You understand what I'm saying? So it's confirmation, to me that there's another type of money. You know what I'm saying? What I realized is two different types of money.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? There's monopoly money that we use for commerce. And then there's another money. So
Tender.
Right. So you have legal tender, which is, the fiat currency. You know what I'm saying? But then that's backed by the lawful money. And so this is the other thing that I figured out. Every human being has 0.22, I want to say, milligrams of gold.
Yep.
So when they took the gold out, they didn't take all the gold out the system. They left us. So that's why everything that we sign, what I'm saying, is back. It's pretty much a gold certificate as well.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So now when we sign, anything that you sign is pretty much
paid for.
No. It's anything that you sign. So they have the term, but the term got misused. Lawful money. So they don't use that term anymore. But lawful money now, the new term for lawful money is treasury obligation. So anything that we sign that would normally be considered lawful money is now a treasury obligation. So that's why these banks can take what we sign, and because the treasury obligation, they go and fractionalize and get 10 times.
All right. So let me ask you this, right?
That makes sense.
So everything that you just talked about and the people that you just spoke to and stuff like that, right? Does that have any correspondence with the QSIP numbers and your
So let me tell you. So I'm gonna tell you the type of person I am, right? So you see, when I go to McDonald's, right, and I buy a Big Mac, they say, you know what I'm saying, the Big Mac come with 2 all beef patties, special sauce, and all that shit, right? I don't care how the Big Mac is made. I just care how they fucking taste. You understand what I'm saying? So that when I go to, if I go to Burger King, if I go to McDonald's and they try to sell me a Whopper, I know the difference. A lot of times we get caught up in the recipe and we forget to enjoy the taste.
Yep. But it does connect to the QSIP though.
Yeah, no. So what I'm saying, remember, this is where I was 10 years ago. So now we're coming forward. So what I'm saying, where all that stuff is relative.
Irrelative, yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? Because what you're talking about now, this is like me coming forward from where I was. I'm gonna tell you, I discharged my first car. In
nice.
What was that? Fucking.
You discharged the house.
Probably 2003. And then I had a Jamaican restaurant down here where when I discharged when I discharged the car at the house, I closed the restaurant. Big mistake. You understand what I'm saying? Because that was supposed to be my outlet to the people. But I figured, why work when this is what it is? But what these people do is that when we come up with stuff that they're not used to, they'll let it go through until they figure it's like a boat. If the boat spring a leak and they're not ready for it to sink, they're going to patch the leak until you find the truth of how something that they can't patch.
Yeah, so this is what they can patch, ladies and gentlemen.
Right.
The key thing is this. They have an instrument. Let me see. They have an instrument And the instrument is called liquidated asset. That's what it's called, liquidated asset. That's what it's called. It's called a liquidated asset.
So can I ask another question? So
Right.
what is, all right, because I brought up the QSIP thing. Now, that from what I've been, watching other people talk and stuff like that, the QSIP, what is it, your trust bond through the US Treasury using your social and the bond from your social and the bond of the birth certificate. Like, how does that all coincide with one another to work in our favor?
I think this is what he get ready to explain now.
Okay.
Now, that's why I'm there now, because this is where I'm at with this stuff now. You understand what I'm saying?
Yo, I'm the beast, bro. You came in the right place.
Yeah, listen, he definitely talking some shit because, like I said, I've been just looking into it.
I need to keep a certain. Listen, I need to keep a certain. Many people, I give this information to many people, but they don't get it, and they make errors, and they like to brag about their life and living how they live better than me and all that stuff. But I'm a reader, so I guess because I'm a reader now, and I don't decide to do nothing, you believe that I can't do nothing. But I know everything. I won't tell you something that I won't do. Let me tell you that the first thing is that I understand about me. I'm not running down money. I'm running about how to figure out how the money flow and when to stop it and get it. Because once I know all of that, I would definitely turn the pipe on like that guy right there.
Because the credit is the money, basically.
Let me give you the basics so you can understand.
Okay.
The document that they have is called liquidated asset. And if you look what liquidated asset is,
Cash money market.
right? That's what it is. So when they get the document, the first thing they get was
Cash it out.
so the liquidated asset had the face value. The liquidated that face value. Face value is what?
Face value reference to the normal or the dollar value of the security and started by its use.
Like the face of indebtedness.
So when they put the evidence of indebtedness, the face value, that's what it is. The face value of the document itself have the amount on it, and that's the proof and evidence that the amount of the document is this. That's why they're discharging it. But the discharging it is the way to get rid of it before you do something and charge them for it. So they're gonna just get rid of it, and they're glad when they don't do nothing. So
That's a 3 year. That's a 3 year cooling. That's a 3 year period, right?
No, that's a forever period if you can prove the fraud.
Yeah.
Once you can prove the fraud, it's forever. It's forever period. So now I'm going to teach you how to prove the fraud, so we can bankrupt them. Face value, the dollar amount, right? So the document itself is the dollar amount on it. That's the face value. So since the document valued that amount, they will get investors to come in from various ways. Now, you guys want to know where the QSIP at? You can find QSIP on the SEC website or Fidelity website.
You know, that's what I'm looking for last night. The QSIP on my.
Yeah, they said Fidelity. They said Fidelity is the best place to go and find out a lot of information about our QSIP numbers and etc.
Yeah, it's kind of a little bit difficult to find on Fidelity because they keep changing the ticket symbol, and how to find a ticket symbol to keep changing it. But you can get it off the SEC too, because the SEC you can also summon the SEC guy. As I said, these guys are public officials, so you can use public laws and all that stuff to summon them and ask them questions and compel them to be transparency. The Corporate Transparency Act would allow them to be transparent about anything. They can also use the corporate ownership, the beneficiary ownership, to force those beneficiary ownership to get those information from the beneficiary ownership. So you come to the SEC website. You go over here and type in the company name, and let's say Ally. Let's say Ally. Let's use Ally Financial. You touch there, and immediately at the top right here, You can find the EA number immediately without going anywhere. There it is right here.
Mm-hmm.
You can find the address right there without going anywhere too tough. Now, if you want to find the SEC, the QSIP, it will be underneath the prospect. And there it is right there at the top.
Redemption information.
Now, what you're looking at right here is the amount that it generated. And if they generated that amount, the net proceed is there, and they're selling it for the 100% the selling price. So when they sell it, they're selling it for that. And the coupon frequencies in monthly, and they do it from this time to this time. Coupons for maturity date is this time, and it
That's daily.
This is monthly.
Oh, okay,
This is when it mature. This is when it mature, and this is when it first started.
Damn. So it's in February. And then
So the principle and the rules and regulations. Once you find the QSIP, you can figure out what you want to do from. But that this is just again significant to basically just hold them accountable for the instrument. This would be an identifier for really to find a pool. If you started at this time, this is the pool that you want to find.
Oh, okay. So you can search back from when your thing, and if you're dealing
Whenever you make a purchase and a deal with them, if you make it, this is the date that you make a purchase and a deal. From that date, between that date and this maturity date, anybody will make a purchase within that time frame, right? This would be a QSIP.
Oh,
Got it.
so for the time you sign your signature,
The date is right here. Whenever they make a deal, each one of them have a different type of QSIP. They generate currency. So each one of them have a QSIP, and each one of the prospect. If you look at this date right here, prospect here, QSIP there. Date started.
350.
so let me ask you this: is it individualized or is
It's
group?
not individualized. It's a group of
Okay. So
deals they make.
they securitize it in the group.
Right. So they securitize it. Now, guess what? They perfected the security after 30 days. They're gonna call it an abandoned security. So you have to do it within 30 days. Whenever there's a deal, they do it within 30 days, unless you can dishonor that security by showing that they commit fraud. Once you can show that they commit fraud and dishonor that security, every person now that actually get money from it can come back to your knees and just throw it down. Give it back
Breach
to
of
you.
fiduciary role.
You see, I'm a very, very valuable person.
Yes.
As simple as you see me here, but people come to my live, but they don't tap my screen, and I'm not gonna come back for another week. You ain't gonna see me again because every time I come in live, people either one, they don't tap my screen, they don't give gifts, they don't do nothing, so it does not give my algorithm nothing. And I'm trying to teach the people what is going on. Simple as you see me, they would do me like what they do Trump, try to give me a sniper me, because I'm the only one that you see on TikTok right now giving you a direct information.
All right, so can I ask you a
Can't
question?
fruit my information. It can't say I'm telling you lies because you're seeing them activating right in front of your
Yeah,
face.
because you're going straight to the places.
So
All right,
let me ask you a quick question when you get a chance.
Right.
All right, so say for instance, like I bought a car like earlier than the year, like sometime last year, right? So I would go look up there, and then go to that period, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, is there a way to individualize my?
No, you just go ahead and yes, your car have an identifier on it. So
Right.
it's not the ID identifier. So what you would do, because the ID identifier, you would file a suit underneath the principle of the UCC. They talk about the UCC and identify the UCC, but the UCC is the problem. You see, the UCC would hold them accountable in the big time because, you see, when you buy a car, the first thing they're supposed to give you the title the same day, the same time, the same hour, the same minute, and they did that. So since they did that, you can file a suit right about now since you buy it earlier in this year and take the car and they send them a rescission notice, you take the car away from them and you take the asset away from them. If they don't respond in 20 days, then they place an adverse claim upon the asset and take the asset away from them, and you show them that they did not deliver the title to you, title to the goods. You see, the title to the goods must come to the buyer. It must be delivered to you unless you explicitly told them so. And since you never explicitly agreed, that's in violation of the UCC and in violation of this one and this one. So you're going to perfect your interest by filing a suit against them for the violation of the principle, because it must explicitly agree to pass on the buyer. You have to pass the title to the buyer. Unless you have to pass it to the buyer.
Right. Well, they hold it in trust, right?
Since they did not pass it to the buyer, well, the seller completes his performance. He did not complete his performance, and since he did not complete his performance, the instrument is dishonored. He never acted in good faith. Since he never acted in good faith, he has no rights to the instrument, even though he may secure the instrument in his perfection of his security. That's a violation off the bat. You can win in the court of law if you know those principles, even if they are foreclosure on your house.
Isn't foreclosures and repossessions illegal?
It is lawful if you did the wrong thing, but they don't.
Contract.
If they don't do the right thing, then it's unlawful for them to do so.
Isn't it paid once you sign once you sign your signature and give your autograph from just using your social? Isn't your house and your vehicle automatically paid for from your trust?
It automatically paid for from your trust? No. You guys are missing the point. Here's the point where you guys are missing. The instrument itself, if they hold it in their position and don't use it, then you are eligible for you to pay directly. You don't magically pay a debt. You have to pay the debt. That's what's his name just proved to you with the conversation he had with the people that he was having. So you have to pay the debt. So since you have to pay the debt, then therefore you are obligated to pay it. But they want money now and they're greedy for money, so they won't do that. What they would do is try to generate currency from it. So since they try to generate currency from it, that's a breach of the contract and for non-disclosure and a usury of the property against your interest and against your will, and it's called unjust enrichment. Because they're running an unjust enrichment principle and scheme, they are in violation of all the laws. They are from contract law, so you can go ahead and sue them in their personal capacity, and you can seize their assets.
Okay, because the reason why I was asking that, because there's this other dude that I was listening to, and he basically said that, say if you want to go buy a car. You use your signature, the credit that is attached to everybody's social security card from the U.S. Treasury. I think it's the U.S. Treasury. That the U.S. Treasury pays them in full, and then they turn around and make you still pay for your house and your car. But on the contract of your house and your car, it says the bank didn't lend you no money.
Sounds complicated, right?
Yeah, they said you are the creditor.
Whatever they're saying to you is bullshit. The bank didn't lend you the money, really, truly. The bank also can lend you money, but the bank actually never lend you no money.
But aren't we the creditor?
Original creditor.
You're missing the key point here again.
Uh-huh.
They gave you something of valuable consideration, and you gave them something of valuable consideration. What did they give them that was valuable consideration?
Yes,
when you're coming to learn from somebody, I want you to do one thing. I want you to learn this. You see, when the young man was talking, the first thing I did was, even though I have knowledge, I shut up and cast away everything I learned and let him finish. Let him finish. Why let him finish? Because my knowledge and his knowledge might intertwine, and then I don't get him to finish his course of whatever he's doing, so I can know where he's at to be able to explain things to him that I know, so he can merge it together for himself.
Okay.
So now when you come to learn from me, the first thing you need to do, if you're going to ask me a question and give me an answer, you need to start casting away your thoughts about the issue and then try to grasp mine, and then try to merge yours into mine to see if it fit. And if it doesn't fit, take out what doesn't fit and put what doesn't fit and then merge it in there like that. And that's how you get to connect things. Now, I'm going to go over it one more time. What is the valuable consideration do you think that you gave them?
Application.
And why is the application is a valuable consideration?
Because you promised to pay a debt.
Sometimes the answer is in before your face.
The face value, official normal, the dollar value, security, estate, issue.
And what do I told you that the instrument is?
The cash.
A liquidated asset.
Yes, liquid
So we
asset.
gave them a liquidated asset, which is valuable consideration for the documentation. But they want to charge you at the same time they gave you that liquidated asset. You gave them that liquidated asset. That's fraud.
Okay.
So,
Enrichment.
real Audrey, I like your answer, but it is right. What's going on, Chief? Much love.
Collateral security.
So the liquidated asset is the face value dollar amount on the instrument that you gave them. Since you gave them the instrument, they're supposed to keep it in their position because it's a sure payment of debt. Because you're going to pay it back, so they have money. You're going to pay it back with interest. So because they can show that they have money, they went forth and showed the world that they have money on the market. And so the market people come and start bidding on it, just like when they do Bitcoin and all those things that you guys are doing. They go in and start bidding on it so you can make some fast cash on it. Right. So remember, this is an unsecured debt. It's an unsecured debt because you can default at any times. Now, it's also an unsecured borrow that you borrow from them, which is the car. Now, you see, the dealer and the broker, they don't lose nothing. That's why you never see them come make a claim on you. Why? Because the moment the dealer go and give it to the bank, they draft their signature and endorse it, say pay to the order of, and the bank buy that asset from them that day, that very same day. They buy the asset from them. They totally buy it from them. That's what they did. They buy that asset, buy it outright. Since they buy the asset, now the bank is liable for that, but it's an unsecured debt because you can default. Now, while the bank has it, the bank's supposed to hold it in its position and do nothing. But what the bank does was breach your privacy by waive it on the security and the market. And before the bank can do that, it has to perfect its securities inside of it by doing the proper laws to perfect its securities by registering it. So the bank registered it, but did not disclose anything to you at all. Now, remember, every transfer must be disclosed to you, but they're not doing it. They pretend that they're not doing it because they put a clause in each one of these contracts to make sure that they don't disclose it to you. But the law does not honor those little clauses because those clauses are a way to commit deceptive practice. You understand what I'm saying? Disclosure is needed.
Truth in lending.
Right, it's in the truth and lending principle. So since they're disclosing it, they went forth and they do their little bullshit and register it. Then they start asking for money. While they show it on the record already, people start investing in it, making money. That's what you call gross enrichment. While they're making money, you there behind the back, they're not getting nothing. You don't even get a piece of the pie. It become a restriction of trade and commerce in which they deprive you from the opportunity to make more money on your money. They're in violation of the Commerce Clause. Since they're in violation of the Commerce Clause, you can effectively sue them in their person and you can seize their asset as well as take away the instrument in their position. Sounds beautiful, doesn't it?
I didn't know you could take away the instrument in their position. That's
because you're talking to a guy that knows shit, bro.
for real. I be reading too, but I'm like, damn, I haven't heard that anywhere, but, read it anywhere either.
Like I said, I'm just getting into this stuff, so it's like I take a little bit from everybody.
You notice I don't give you no weird codes to follow. I give you the direct laws and rules and regulations and principles.
Yes,
You don't
sir.
see me come up here with no twisting and turning around corners, right? I'm not giving you guess and spell here. It's not a guess. It's not a guess. I'm not guessing. All right? I'm not guessing. I'm giving you directions where you can find it. I don't miss a beat in the Q-sip, did I either?
No.
Easy fine.
Yeah.
With 3 simple steps, right? I don't miss a beat in those things that you guys may take days, weeks, months trying to find, probably years trying to find, right? Figure it out.
Man, I hope your Spotify find it yesterday. Oh man, that spirit guided me because I said I was going to bed like at 1 o'clock, bro. You know what I'm saying? So me here, the ox said me here, me here with the yard man. I say, you know what I say, because we're not gonna waste time. You know what I say, we don't waste time.
Yeah,
that's,
man,
that's why we don't make roti. A lot of people don't understand why Jamaicans don't make roti. It takes too much time.
Yeah, and I had just turned my phone on, just looking, and you popped right up on my feed, and so it was meant to be.
Yeah, I've been meditating. So this is what I realized. Let me just interject this. So we're in a time and space now where if you ask the universe for the next step,
yes,
it'll give it to you right away.
But you know what? We've always been like that. Keep one thing in mind, and I know we all have heard this saying before. Be careful what you speak because it comes to existence. So we have the ability and the power to speak our destiny and speak what we want. Even if there's doubt in our mind, it won't happen. But when we leave out the doubt and we keep the positive, we can only project the positive.
You don't hear me say no status and position and all that stuff, right? All the thing I tell you is just perfect is just security, interest, and all that stuff. Principal party. Many of these things that you're looking at, guys, you see them sometimes. You see them like this.
Principal amount of security.
You see that like 1 point something. One is not no $100 and something. It's actually millions. It's actually, as I see it, like that. So there's a part where I wanted to show you. I think it's the 8K. This is the 8K form. I don't want to show you the 8K form. I want to show you something. I think
It might be the 10K form.
Let's see if this is the 10K. Let's see if the 10K. Man. Let's look at it.
That's the Securities Exchange form for the CFO.
All right, I think it's somewhere here. Let me see if it's the annual report.
United States Security Exchange Commerce.
You know what's crazy?
Yeah.
Ally is the company that I'm actually, what you call it? I did the truth and lending on them, and you know what I'm saying? So yeah. So it's crazy that you pull up Ally.
Yeah, I'm gonna go after them in a few. I'm just trying to save some people out. There's a few people I promised to do something for. I'm just trying to save the house from getting things. So I just transfer a case from the state to the federal, from the district court to the Supreme Court, and I'm gonna go ahead and solve that case. And then I'm going after Allied. The next I'm going gonna shut down child support. So I wish you guys could be.
Oh yeah, that's a big thing. That's
yeah, child support is fraud, bro. I know the shut it down. I just don't want them to kill me right now yet.
child support is
I'm not ready.
fraud.
I'm not ready to die that quick yet.
But you know what? You know who I be following, and she give a lot of information. Amelia Sutton.
She's weak compared to me, bro.
Oh, nah, listen, you giving me more information.
Much love, chocolate.
You're giving a lot of info. Damn, what was I getting ready? Oh, you said you used the Truth in Lending Act?
Yes.
Yeah.
Truth in Lending Act.
So there's a video that I just happened to because I meditate most of the day. So you know what I'm saying. So I turned it on, came up, and it basically broke down how to calculate your interest rate. Mm-hmm. So what I did, I looked at all my interest rates and I saw that they were all wrong based on the Truth in Lending, where it's the simple formula. The simple formula is what they're supposed to go by. but they don't go by that formula. And
Because
I'm trying to follow everybody that's up here, but they won't let me follow nobody. So they be doing dumb shit on here too. So if y'all can press the follow on my end, I can get y'all. But they said I reached my limit of who I can follow and stuff like that. That's crazy, but you know how TikTok is.
Come on. What highlight is shooting for? Let me see if I can see it. Can you see right here, guys? I want you to look at it right here. See right here? You said total finance here. You see it said 8,000 something right here.
Yes.
But it got other stuff. So it said,
Hey, I can barely hear you.
Oh yeah, billions, yeah.
see that?
Yeah, there you go.
In the millions.
In
It's
millions.
still right there.
That's millions, right?
But it's actually in the millions.
So that's 8,000 millions.
That's 8,600,000.
Oh, okay.
All right, what's that for? Because I couldn't hear you. Your mic kept going in and out.
When they securitize it.
So this is the table for you to see how things go. We can look at this is the table. We look at the entire table to see how much they make for the year, where they make it or go, how much they lost, and all that stuff. It's the same thing you have to do with the trust. You see, people tell you about trust, but they don't tell you how to make a trust, and they don't tell you how to make a trust run. See, guys, I create trust and I make trust. I also make trust. And if you guys are going to buy my trust, it's going to be $4,000 or $5,000. I'm going to sell that for because my trust is are very, very detailed and set in a way that you cannot lose. It's instructive and it's protect you in all costs. It even can protect you on a governmental level, in which you say you can establish your own government if needs be. And inside of it make your own laws. And can change your own laws and principles. I mean, laws and stuff like that inside of my trust. So I'm not gonna just give you my trust. I know you guys, if somebody's selling my trust, you would know it immediately because I'm gonna put my seal inside of it, and then I'm gonna tell you how to take a seal and put it inside of it.
Okay, I have another question. So is it? All right. So what is this thing I keep hearing about as far as not the trust, as far as where we make the trust, the Treasury. The U.S. Treasury and stuff like that. What's the deal with that?
The U.S. Treasury is to take all of those fake dollars and bonds they're giving out to pay you out in accordance to what they are. So every paper, if everybody get up today and say, I'm going to turn in all the U.S. dollars, all of that dollars they take in, they have to pay them out in gold. Bonds, they put in them out in gold.
So you talking about physical, this paper that we spend?
Yeah, those are gold receipts you have in your hands.
So yeah, because I seen something. I think last year they passed something to where you're supposed to be able to take your currency and trade it in for the gold or something like. I didn't know how true that was. I just seen it like once.
Yeah, it is true. That's gold.
But they replace the gold with the Treasury obligation. Since they said there's no gold, so that's when the Treasury now owes you.
No, they're just lying to you.
So that's why Trump went to the Federal Reserve.
Yeah. They're just lying to you. Say there's no gold. There's gold.
There's gold everywhere.
US have the most gold in the world because of us.
Okay.
North Carolina is the gold capital of the United States.
Gold is everywhere, bro. You know how many people I follow right now?
Wagwan godless
in the Carolinas.
Wagwan, what you deal with, yo?
They in the Carolinas and all that, and they getting gold out.
I got something heavy for you, man.
Go ahead, man. Share with the people they here.
All right, so I'm going to just give it to you quick. My brother hit me. I hit him back. He called the police on me. He said that I hit him 3 times or whatever. They came. They found 3 of my arms. One was a hand joint that I already got a permit for. Another one was a Mossberg, whatever.
You talking about gun? Pistol?
Yeah. And another one was an Eiffel. But it held 17. They say it was only supposed to hold 10. So they locked me up for 3 days.
What's the bolt? What's the bolt on it?
Being the caliber?
Yeah. Is it what kind of bore? What kind of bore it has?
It's a 9mm.
9mm bore?
I don't really.
So if you go to federal laws concerning the bore of a pistol, and if it's of a certain bore, then it's considered to be a pistol.
Oh yeah, it's a pistol for sure. I got
But if it's a pistol, then they can't regulate it. They got so what you doing now? You got to put the security interest on their pistols.
Hold on.
Go ahead.
It wasn't the pistol; it was the rifle.
Yeah, the rifle can consider to be a pistol if it have a certain type of bore.
Oh, okay, I see. Okay, so but what they saying is it's only supposed to hold 10, but it holds 17. The clip.
Yeah, but they can't regulate if it's not underneath their regulation. But continue. Go ahead with the story first.
So boom, I went to they locked me up Friday, March 7th. I got out 11th Monday. Sunday is when I went for the arraignment. I said to them, yo, man, Constitution of the United States of America said I got the right to bear arms. They said, we don't care about that. New York State don't take laws lightly about GUNs. I mentioned the 1787 Constitution of New York State. When I said that to them, they disconnected their eye contact with me, put their head down. I said, okay, a good sign. So then they said, well, we're going to hold a criminal hearing for you this Tuesday, and we're going to hold a Crawford hearing because my brother and my name is on the lease, but he got a temporary order of protection. I said, all right, cool. So I went there. Before I went there Tuesday, though, I asked for the EIN. They were shook. Then I sent the executive letter to the court office administrator of the state, the attorney general of the state, and the governor's office of the New York State. When I got there, I had another 2 copies for the DA and the judge. When she called me, I stood up, said, I'm here in my proper capacity as the occupant of the executive's office of the all caps name estate. So she said, I can't hear you. I said, can you hear me now? She said, yeah, I can hear you. I mentioned it again. Then she said, we still got jurisdiction over you. I said, excuse me, Your Honor, is this a probate court? She said, no. I said, well, the state is the highest court. She was silent. Then the DA started talking, but my brother never showed up. So everything that she's saying was Tinsley and Pagliaro. Everything she's saying is hearsay, third-party bull. So now I got to go back to court. April 8th is my next court date. I was thinking about doing fruit of a poisonous tree doctrine, bringing up that. I got so many things that I could bring in on them, but, I'm just really weighing my options right now. I got evidence that I reacted in self-defense. I got evidence that, the police there put me in handcuffs. They didn't read my Miranda. They didn't have a search warrant. They said they was going to do an investigation, but they never did an investigation. All of those type of things. I got a trust. I got a fee schedule that I've been had on the county record. Yeah, what you think? What say you?
Yo, G, what part of New York you in? Because I'm in Brooklyn too. I got an open gun case now myself. Well, allegedly.
What kind of pistol you have?
You said what kind of pistol?
Yeah, what kind of gun you guys have? Now let me show you the rules first. And what you guys got to do effectively today is you're going to use the diversity, citizenship, and federal question. So you got to. I'm not a lawyer, you guys, so I want to understand that from right now. So you can understand. I'm just a reader, right? But what I'm going to tell you is very much in the rule of law, all right? And they can't go around it. So even though you just told them those little things, well, you're going to go ahead and make sure you take this right here, federal question, all right? Federal question. Federal question, all right? After you take federal question, you're going to use diversity of citizenship. If you guys are considered to be American national, then you're American national. You're going to get the convention. You're going to get the convention.
Yeah, because they didn't find nothing on me. They found it after the fact. So it was all assumption and hearsay.
You're going to get this. You're going to get Convention Against Corruption. You're going to go in there and you're going to look and see what laws apply and which law apply when they violate certain rights from you. You're going to use the Second Amendment. You're going to use the Fourth Amendment and the Fifth Amendment. You're going to use the Article 1. If they lock you up, they're going to use Article 1, Section 9, Clause 2. You're going to use Amendment 9 and Amendment 10 and Amendment 13. They're going to use Amendment 7 and secure a jury trial. And they're going to use the Convention Against Corruption, and they're going to use whatever corruption code they can use in there that would fit your case. You're also going to use the Executive Order 13107. Executive Order 13107 that mandate, and you're going to make sure you get the authenticated form that mandate them to operate in the principle of human rights. They have the obligation to that. They're buying by the obligation, and not just one party is buying, but every party, all executive office, every agency, doesn't matter who they are. They can say whatever they want to be in a part of, or whatever they want to be a part of. They can be a part of the granny cow. It doesn't matter what they're a part of. They're going to come there and they're going to acknowledge the fucking human rights. All right? You're going to use that. You're going to use Article 6 to bind them to it, and then they're going to use Article 3 to bind them to the Article 3 court. You're going to use, these are not going to written in the documentation. Once you get these documentation in there, you're going to use this at the title of the documentation, notice of removal. Notice of removal, and then file it in the federal court. If you're not in federal, if you're in federal court, you file it in the Supreme Court.
I'm in Supreme Court now.
All right, since you're in the Supreme Court, you don't need to do a notice of removal. You just use all the documentation that you have and then put counterclaim. You got to place a security interest on the name as well. And then you're going to go ahead and take the federal laws. If you're in the state court, remove it to the federal court. If you're in the federal court, remove it to the Supreme Court.
Now,
You're going to meet the principle of federal questions and diversity and citizenship. All right?
yeah. So
That's what I-
what about?
Don't run. Now I'm going to touch on the pistol. The rule that you're going to use is chapter 53, machine gun and destructive devices. Guys, I'm well learned. I'm not no little guy that you see on the lives and that's playing around with and that's knocking out,
We've been on this shit for an hour and a half, bro. I ain't even sleepy. We keep talking all night till the sun come up, and I'm Gucci with it.
Here, my question is right here. Should I wait for them to do some willful negligence before I notice a removal?
They already been doing negligence. They're supposed to actually give you a remedy immediately because they don't have no jurisdiction over the matter, right?
Right.
The first thing they're supposed to dismiss the case. They already waiting for the neglect because they know they can. They're supposed to understand the word definition when it's said right here. You see, they're causing you harm. They're causing you more money to come to the court.
Yes.
They're causing you time to leave to come out of the court. So
Yes.
already they're in violation of 42 U.S. Code 1986.
Look, and they kept my cell phone. I lost clients behind. I'm a barber, so I lost clients and everything.
Every person who have knowledge that they are wrong is conspired to be done and mentioned in here are about to mention are committed and have power to prevent or aid in preventing the commission of the same. So they're aiding in it, bro. Neglect or refuse to do so. If the wrong commit shall be liable to the party injured. You're injured right now. So you do an injury party. You're an injury party. You don't type yourself as you gotta place yourself as a claimant / injury party underneath. They don't make a plaintiff. Claimant / injury party.
Claiming
Then you're gonna do your security interest again. Securitize yourself. Like what's his name?
Fox.
Yo.
What was that? What was that? 1331?
Huh?
That federal questioning.
Yeah, 28 U.S. Code 1331.
All right.
So as soon as you securitize your interest inside of yourself, and file a UCC1 and register it on the record, and then you submit it and the documentation to the court. You're going to secure your rights in the Constitution of the United States. You're going to secure your rights in it, and after you secure your rights in it, you're going to secure your rights on UCC principle, reserve your rights and all rights in reserve, and then they're going to hold them accountable to their actions that they're doing. And then they're going to make sure you take the EIA number, and then they're going to call the risk management to get their
They bond.
the information, yes, and then they're going to charge them for the trespass for your rights and interests. They breach the 4th Amendment, breach the 2nd Amendment, breach the 5th Amendment, right? They take your property, they lock you up, they breach Article 1, Section 9, Class 2, if they lock you up. They breach 13th Amendment, they breach the 9th Amendment, and they breach the 10th Amendment. The 10th Amendment does not delegate no power to them, but that's for sure written in the Constitution for them to be able to execute it. You see, the principle of law is based upon natural law. It's not just the Constitution. Yes. The Constitution is just to secure the interest in natural law. That's what the Constitution does. The Constitution secures your interest in natural law, and when they go against the natural law, you use executive order against them to implement human rights. All right?